Welcome back, Truth Seekers, to Soul Ascendant and the Conscious Living series. If Episode 1, Are You Awake?, sparked a flicker of awareness within you, an understanding that there's more to reality than meets the eye, then prepare for a monumental step deeper into the journey. Today, we don't just peek behind the curtain, we rip it down. Today, we confront a profound, universal truth, the mask we wear. The premise, what is the mask? We aren't talking about Halloween costumes or disguises. We're talking about the intricate, deeply ingrained personas, the curated versions of ourselves we present to the world, and often even to ourselves. These aren't just superficial roles. They are complex identities built piece by piece, layer by layer, from the moment we can comprehend societal feedback. Think of it: the good child, the successful rebel, the perpetual people pleaser, the unshakable stoic, the witty entertainer, the always busy person. We construct these masks with the best intentions: to fit in, to be loved, to avoid pain, to gain acceptance, to survive. They are our coping mechanisms, our shields against a sometimes harsh world. But what happens when the mask becomes so convincing, so intertwined with our sense of self, that we forget who we are underneath? What happens when the performance becomes our reality? The why: fear, conditioning, and societal pressure. So why do we wear these masks? The root often lies in our earliest experiences. As children, we quickly learn what behaviors elicit praise and what brings criticism. Be quiet, be strong, don't cry, always be polite. These aren't inherently bad lessons, but they start to condition us. We internalize the belief that our inherent, raw self isn't quite good enough. This conditioning is reinforced by fear of rejection. The primal human need to belong is incredibly powerful. The mask promises safety from exclusion. Desire for approval. We crave validation. Social media, grades, career advancements, they all reinforce the idea that external metrics define our worth. Societal norms and expectations, culture, family, education, they all outline what a successful or good person looks like. We strive to fit this mold, often at the expense of our true inclinations. Past wounds and trauma. Sometimes, the mask is a protective barrier built around deep hurt. We create a persona that we believe will prevent us from experiencing that pain again. The ego, in its protective function, becomes the master architect of these masks. It believes it's keeping us safe, loved, and accepted. But in its effort to protect, it creates an elaborate illusion, an illusion that distances us from our authentic, true self. This illusion, constantly seeking external validation, becomes a self-perpetuating cycle, exhausting us and preventing true connection. The masks in action. Let's look at some common masks that many of us will recognize, perhaps even within ourselves. This isn't about judgment, but about compassionate observation. The people pleaser. They live by saying yes, even when their inner voice screams no. Their worth is tied to how happy they make others, leading to resentment, exhaustion, and a lost sense of their own desires. They avoid conflict at all costs, sacrificing their boundaries for perceived harmony. The invincible stoic. This person believes showing vulnerability is a sign of weakness. They bottle up emotions, project an image of unshakable strength, and might struggle to form deep, intimate connections because they can't let anyone see the real them. The overachiever perfectionist. Their mask is built on constant accomplishment and flawless execution. Their identity is fused with their success, leading to burnout, anxiety, and a feeling that they are only worthy when they are doing perfectly, rather than being enough. The rebel outsider. Even rebellion can be a mask. This persona seeks identity through opposition, often defined by what they aren't rather than who they authentically are. While individuality is key, sometimes this mask is a defensive reaction to feeling misunderstood, creating a different kind of prison. The always happy persona. This mask deflects pain and discomfort. It's a refusal to acknowledge shadow aspects, leading to suppressed emotions that can surface in unhealthy ways. Do any of these resonate? Take a moment to reflect on your own daily interactions. When do you feel a subtle tension between who you're presenting and who you truly are? That tension is often a whisper from your authentic self, asking to be seen. Ancient wisdom, the concept of anatta, non-self. For millennia, spiritual traditions have understood the illusory nature of these masks, even before modern psychology gave them terms. In Buddhist philosophy, for instance, we find the profound concept of anatta or non-self. Anatta doesn't mean you don't exist. It means there is no fixed, unchanging, permanent self or soul that resides independently. What we perceive as I or me, our personality, our memories, our thoughts, our physical body, are actually a constantly changing aggregation of interconnected processes. It's like a river. It looks like one continuous entity, but the water molecules are always flowing, always new. Buddhism teaches that much of our suffering comes from clinging to the illusion of a solid, permanent self, our egoic identity. This self is precisely the collection of masks we've been discussing. The path to liberation, to awakening, involves seeing through this illusion, understanding that our true nature is not defined by these temporary constructs, but by something far more expansive and interconnected. This ancient wisdom invites us to realize that the person we think we are, the person we present to the world, is ultimately an ever-changing story, not an immutable truth. And in that understanding lies immense freedom. The confrontation and unmasking. This is where we move from understanding to action. The confrontation isn't aggressive. It's a compassionate, courageous gaze inward. Unmasking is a process, not a destination, and it requires gentleness and persistence. Here are some actionable steps you can begin today. Cultivate radical awareness, non-judgmental observation. Mindfulness practice. Sit quietly for 5-10 minutes each day. Observe your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without attaching to them. Notice when a performance arises. Who are you trying to be in this moment? For whom? Witness consciousness. Throughout your day, become the silent observer of yourself. When you're in a conversation, notice if you're censoring yourself, tailoring your response, or trying to elicit a specific reaction. Don't judge it, just notice it. Ah, there's my expert mask appearing. Journaling for self-inquiry. Dedicate a journal specifically to this process. Ask yourself, what do I fear others would think if they knew my true thoughts and feelings in this situation? In what situations do I feel the most authentic? What's different about those moments? If I didn't care about anyone's opinion, what would I do? Say, create. What parts of myself do I actively hide and why? What emotion am I unwilling to feel or express? Embrace vulnerability. Start small. Vulnerability is the antidote to the mask. It's scary, but it's where true connection lies. Practice with a trusted person. Share a genuine feeling, a small insecurity, or an honest opinion with a trusted friend, partner, or family member, even if it feels uncomfortable. See how they respond. Often, it builds intimacy. Vulnerability with yourself. Allow yourself to feel an emotion fully. Sadness, anger, joy without suppressing it or judging it. Let it move through you. Identify your core values. When you're operating from a mask, you're often living by someone else's rules. What truly matters to you? Is it freedom, creativity, connection, integrity, kindness? List your top 3 to 5 values. Then assess. Am I living in alignment with these values, or am I compromising them to maintain a mask? This clarity is a powerful compass. Practice saying no. If you're a people pleaser, saying no can feel revolutionary. Start with small no's to things that don't align with your energy or desires. This establishes boundaries and strengthens your authentic voice. Question your beliefs. Many masks are built on limiting beliefs inherited from childhood or society. I'm not smart enough. I have to be perfect to be loved. My needs don't matter. Challenge these beliefs. Are they actually true, or are they just old stories? The revelation, freedom of the authentic self. As you courageously peel back these layers, something extraordinary happens. You begin to glimpse and then embody your authentic self. This is not a self that needs to perform, doesn't need to pretend, and doesn't require external validation to feel worthy. The authentic self is inherently worthy. It knows its value simply by existing, not by achieving or impressing. At peace, it isn't constantly battling between presentation and truth. There's an inner coherence, a sense of rightness, capable of true connection. When you are real, others can truly connect with you, not with the mask. This fosters deeper, more meaningful relationships. Creative and expansive. Without the constraints of the mask, your unique talents, passions, and insights can flourish. You tap into your true potential. Resilient. Ironically, shedding the mask doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. You face challenges from a place of inner truth, not from a fragile persona. This is the essence of conscious living, living in radical alignment with who you truly are. It's a journey of continuous shedding, revealing the light that has always been within you. It's the journey back home to yourself. Imagine the energy you reclaim when you're no longer upholding an illusion. Imagine the joy of being truly seen and truly loved for exactly who you are. Call to action. The journey of unmasking is perhaps the most courageous quest you'll ever embark on. It demands honesty, vulnerability, and immense self-compassion, but the freedom, the peace, and the profound connection you gain are immeasurable. I encourage you to reflect. What mask are you ready to acknowledge today? What tiny step can you take to begin peeling back a layer? Share your insights, your struggles, and your triumphs in the comments below. Your vulnerability here can be a beacon for someone else on their own path. If this deep dive resonated with your soul, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to Soul Ascendant for more transformative content, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. Remember, the magnificent truth of who you are is far more breathtaking than any mask you could ever wear. Keep shining your authentic light. Until next time, live consciously and walk truly.